early. So, what was that?
I play lots of wake-up music this morning.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's enough. Good morning and welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Waddell's Nursery, Floral Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. And now your host of Nature Watch, Gary Miller. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, for me, I've been yelling all summer long, quit with the Little League rules and don't put a runner on second in extra innings. Of course, postseason baseball, there is no ghost runner. I paid the price.
Yeah.
I ended up oversleeping this morning. Actually, my alarm was going off. I looked at it. And
well, at least you heard yours.
Off.
I didn't even hear mine.
I didn't hear it, but I saw
it. So unfortunately, Tigers didn't quite survive. But I tell you what, they made it very exciting last night.
It's an all-time classic. There's this instant classic that they call everything now. This, I think, is an all-time classic, regardless of the outcome. I think it is.
It seemed like about every batter, or at least every other batter, went to a full count. So, I mean, it was just like on the edge of your seat the whole time. And it. Oh, my gosh, they got through another inning.
So, by no fault of the Tigers, taking the Mariners 15 in their ballpark with the Tigers and their bullpen struggles, nice work doing that, but unfortunately,
good season. Next year. Wait till next year.
Oh, yeah. Only up.
The usual Detroit mantra.
And now I don't have this, do I air the Tigers or Lions tomorrow? I think I have that figured out.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So a little more fall-like weather.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the next couple of days, a little bit on the warmish side for this time of year. More seasonal weather coming week. I actually had an inch of rain this last Tuesday. I was shocked. I know it was, and it actually came down relatively slow, so it soaked in nice, and the soil needed it. The soil's still dry.
Yeah,
I see farmers out tilling fields after they've harvested, and there's dust clouds, and so it's still dry.
It's still,
and they've been irrigating.
Dry.
Well, they've been irrigating all summer.
You see, getting a day of soaking rain is not going to cure our ills. I'm telling you that right now.
It is not. I know. Yeah. I mowed. I was off yesterday, so I mowed I actually mowed my entire yard yesterday. It wasn't as dusty as the previous times, but it was still dusty.
There you go.
And actually, when I was mowing, there was a few clouds that came up. It actually got quite cloudy there for a while. And I was about half done, and all of a sudden, I like, that feels like a sprinkle. Oh, my goodness. It wasn't even predicted. And so I looked, and there's some cloud up there. It looks a little dark. I didn't bother looking at the radar. I probably should have attempted it.
Yeah.
Because I thought, gosh, if it was dark, it looked like it might rain. And I'm like, I want to finish mowing the yard. I should have attempted it. I realized afterwards and stopped and looked at the radar on my phone because we needed rain. I mean, it did rain a little later on. It's enough to make the concrete wet. Didn't get very much, though. And in the next week, there's not much chance. I had to laugh because I was looking at earlier before I went out to mow and wait for the grass to dry out because of dew in the morning. And I looked, and like last night, this morning, like midnight-ish or so to like about 3, 4 a.m., they had about 15% chance of rain. Before that, it was 0. And yet, that was in the hourly forecast. Both days, for the daily forecast, had a 0% chance of rain. I was trying to figure out how does that work? 15% chance in some hours, but 0 for the day. I'm guessing you're not going to get any rain. Wow. Definitely gone fall mode. Start seeing some really big bird migration numbers on the last couple nights. A couple nights ago, they had like 1.1 billion birds in the air. Unbelievable. Actually, last night was a very high. At least the forecast was for a high number migration numbers over Kalamazoo County, and we're starting to see that. I think the hummingbirds have migrated south. Haven't seen one for at least a week plus now.
Okay.
We'll see. However, some of the other birds coming through, I noticed this morning again, there are a very, very large flock or gaggle of geese behind the Kalamazoo National Guard Armory, resting in the field there and sort of hunkered down. And I was thinking, laughing to myself, when a lot of geese are in a field like that hunkered down, is it really hunkered or honkered down? Trying to get Jim's funny bone going. He's halfway asleep this morning, like the rest of us.
I am still technically waking up, and there is caffeine in this coffee. Thank you.
The birds are moving. Moving around. I've seen some very large flocks of sandhill cranes, but it's even more movement around going on are the deer. My little notes here, I put deer with an exclamation mark. And it was because it seemed like everywhere I turn around, there's deer. I was at a meeting Wednesday night, and it wasn't dark yet when I got done, and I was driving home, and I had to stop 3 times for deer to cross the road. One of them, two of the spots where deer normally cross, I've always been very cautious. The one spot was a spot I don't see deer hardly at all.
Okay.
So because they're in rut right now and you've got hunting season starting, they are moving all times of day. Thursday morning on my way into work, at about 9:30 in the morning, I had to stop twice for deer to cross the road.
Yeah.
So they are moving any time of day and in groups. So if you see one, be
Slow
cautious.
down.
There's probably some more.
Yeah. See one cross the road, and you're coming up on that. That's what I've always done. Slow down and take a look because there's probably another.
I saw yesterday Michigan storm chasers had a forecast of, for the next week, 95% chance of seeing deer each day.
Okay. Thank you, Michigan storm chasers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're highlighting because there's lots of deer movement going around right now.
Is it close enough? Is it close enough, Gary?
Let me do a couple more things here, and then we'll get there because this one may take a while. So we had actually had 2 spice bush swallowtail chrysalis or chrysali on our house. They had been feeding on a couple of volunteer sassafras trees, and something came in and got them the other night because they're gone.
Yeah.
And the chrysalis for the spice bush swallowtail looks like a leaf totally curled up. Actually, really neat looking. And we actually had made the comment we need to move those so they stay safe all winter. A critter beat us to moving them. I'm hoping they got blown away, but I don't think so. Unfortunately. So drought monitor with the rains we've had. Not a big change. A little more of Michigan in the abnormally dry condition, but everything else has pretty well stayed the same. And that's despite the rains we've had. And so back in the Upper Peninsula and the Garden Peninsula and the Upper Peninsula, they actually have gone to abnormally dry again. And now we can go to our time. So I figure this one may take some time.
Okay, before you do that, I want to end with this. And when I was teasing back there, I wasn't talking about trivia. No. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the ball anyway.
Oh, yeah.
In 2 weeks, on the 25th.
Yes, 2 weeks from today.
Yeah. Chandler Boss from Michigan Storm Chasers will be in the studio with Gary and myself to talk weather and what may or may not happen this winter and how Michigan Storm Chasers came about and all of that. So that's 2 weeks from today. So I'm going to start pushing that.
Yeah, and actually 3 weeks from today, we have another guest coming in talking about maybe some bird feeders and birdhouses.
Yeah.
Bill Stovall's planning on being in, so that'll be interesting too.
Yeah, there you go.
So have some guests in the next several weeks.
Okay.
So you can think about those questions coming up.
Right. Now.
So now we can do the trivia question because this one's going to take a little while, I think, for some people to find.
Oh, it's a good thing I got somebody answering the phone. Steve Ballet is taking care of phones at 269-382-4280. First correct answer, and this one apparently may take a little bit. It's a good thing we started early.
Yes.
So our first correct caller will get a $20 gift card to Waddell's. Go ahead, Gary.
So I was actually saw several articles. There's actually a webinar coming up through the American Bird Conservancy regarding trying to repopulate the northern bobwhite population that has been decimated and actually started going downhill about 1966. In this area, they were the winters of 77 and 78 pretty well did the population in. That deep snow we had for such a long time. Before that, we had some pretty good populations. Occasionally, you still see some. Occasionally, I've seen them or heard them around my house. But the population is way down, and we're towards the northern edge of their range, surprisingly. So northern bobwhites, and so they're pretty identifiable because they sound like bobwhite, and little quail type of quail. So my question today is, northern bobwhites are divided into how many subspecies?
269-382-4280. 4280.
And I'm looking for an exact number because I found twice on very reputable sources, which might have been like the Cornell Ornithology Lab or might have been the American Bird Conservancy. They agreed on the number of subspecies. So I'm looking for a specific number. That was a hint there.
I think he just dropped a hint.
But it may take him a while to find this, So actually, I grew up with bobwhite. We had bobwhite, had a few on my parents' farm, my grandparents' farm that we farmed. There was always quite a few coveys around, and it was fun to see them, especially after they had the young. They would have anywhere from 10 to 15 young sometimes, and so seeing all those little bobwhites, they look like mini versions of their mom and dad, and seeing them out in the fence rows and the fields and that, and they eat a lot of insects, so they're actually very beneficial. Species to have around, but they're fun to see them, and you actually hear them. So there's a few other birds that sound like their name, like whippoorwills. I remember being camping in the Upper Peninsula, and in the middle of summer, and about 3 a.m. when it was starting to get light out, a whippoorwill would start calling right behind our tent.
Okay,
not too enjoyable.
What's your trivia question again?
So how many northern bobwhites are divided into how many subspecies?
269-382-4280. Jeff joins us this morning on WKZO. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jack.
Jeff.
Morning.
Jeff.
Hey, Jim. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. What's going on?
Not much, man. Not much.
What you got for a guess?
22.
That is correct.
Yeah, so much for your rough question, dude.
You never know. I figured Jim always gives me a hard time whether I get a softball or a hardball or questions. And I thought this one might be a little difficult. So it did take me a little bit of time to find it, even doing a sort of a direct search. My hints probably helped, I'm guessing.
Apparently, this guy's hit some fast pitches before.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, there you go, Jeff. You're our big winner this morning, $20 gift card to Waddell's. Can you hold on the line? I'm going to send you back to Steve, and he's going to let you know how to pick that up.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You bet.
Congratulations.
Hang on. And we have Jeff on hold. Lots to do this morning. 8:42. More Nature Watch back in moments on WKZO.
Waddell's Garden Center is famous for its fun family events, and you're invited to their pumpkin party going on today from 10 till 2. The pumpkin party includes a pumpkin catapult, stuff a scarecrow station, and a pumpkin decoration station. There's no admission fee, just pay for the items you participate in. Play games like pumpkin bowling and pumpkin ring toss, slide into the corn bin, and go on a pumpkin hunt. For the price of a pumpkin and just $2.50 more, have fun decorating pumpkins. Sticker kits, decoupage kits, along with help and ideas from Waddell's designers. Bring your long-sleeved shirt and jeans for the Stuff a Scarecrow station. Waddell's will have the straw, flour sack for the head, stakes, and help for just $10 for kid sizes and $12 for adults. Plus, enjoy donuts and cider as well as informative walk-in talks every 15 minutes to learn about planting bulbs, ornamental grasses, and trees. It's the Pumpkin Party today at Waddell's Nursery, Florist, and Garden Center. More information at waddells.com.
Listen to what those local folks are telling you.
You know what's going on in a more local level.
Kalamazoo's official online local news source is WKZO.com.
Nature Watch continues. Jeff from Schoolcraft, our big winner. I was overhearing Steve talking to Jeff while I was checking something over in the other studio. I think I know who this guy is. old bowling friend, I do believe. Congratulations, Jeff. Way to go.
So northern bobwhites are divided into 22 subspecies, some of which were formerly considered to be separate species, such as the masked bobwhite, the rufous-bellied bobwhite, and the black-headed bobwhite. Although the females mostly look alike, the males vary dramatically from one subspecies to the next. So something to watch when you see those bobwhite. Maybe pay some close attention. You might see one of those subspecies.
Okay.
If you see that rare sighting.
Okay.
So today is World Migratory Bird Day. So happy World Migratory Bird Day.
Well, and that's a subject we touched on here a lot. So
Yes.
Where's the party, dude? Come on.
So celebrated twice a year. It was started in 2006 by the United Nations, and the first usually do one in the spring and one in the fall. May 10th this year in the spring. Today is the fall day. Okay. This year's theme, they have a theme each year, is shared spaces, creating bird-friendly cities and communities. And some things we can do to create those bird-friendly cities and communities is plant native plants. Birds enjoy eating the fruit if there's fruit on those plants. native plants support a lot of larvae as far as butterfly and moth larvae, and the birds feed those to their young. So they need those, and those big populations of caterpillars on those trees feed a lot of birds. The dimming your lights at night, so especially this time of year, especially after 11 p.m. Actually, you can do it a little earlier because we're getting dark early right now, and even after like 9 p.m. or so, if you can turn your lights off or extra lights off, that helps the birds migrating.
Yeah, I'm noticing that we are very close to an 8 o'clock sunrise, too.
Yes, we are. It seems like it's getting dark very rapidly here, very short hours.
But remember, we're on Eastern Daylight Time, but this holds through until the first Sunday in November. So
yes, we got 3 weeks. 3 weeks yet.
I think, if I look back and really do some math, I have a feeling that stretch will be our latest sunrises probably for the season, due to the fact that it's still Eastern Daylight Time.
Right.
So,
yeah, pretty close. Pretty close. The make your windows visible, so birds don't recognize glass; they can't really see that. So put clings or other things on to identify those windows. Protect insects. So there's lots of insects we don't like, but there's a lot more that are beneficial. So protect those insects as much as possible, and restrain your pets. So pets eat a lot of birds. So if you have those cats or dogs, usually cats more so, try to keep them, they actually suggest making a catio. So it's like a patio for your cat. little fenced-in area, but they can get outside yet. And that way your cat can get outside if your cat is one that goes outside. Try to reduce plastic use. There's a webinar coming up about plastic pollution here in the state that the Eagle is sponsoring. Eagle, I believe DNR is involved too, I know, but I know Eagle is. And last I looked, it's coming up in a couple of weeks yet, I believe. Last I looked, they had almost 1,000 people registered to attend that via Zoom. So they're going to have, it's a whole day long presentation. They're going to have actually some world experts on plastic pollution in that. So trying to talk about some ways to reduce that, and also to some of the impacts that is made on the environment and us. So if you can reduce plastic use or say no to plastic, all the more power to you. The other thing is they mentioned actually is purchase sustainable foods. So when sustainable foods are grown, they preserve native plants, so those native plants can support wildlife. And so that is another benefit of purchasing sustainable foods. Some amazing facts about migratory birds. Approximately 40% of the world's birds by species, 40% by species, are migratory. And so there's at least 4,000 species of birds that migrate in the world. The long distance award goes to the Arctic tern. The Arctic tern travels the furthest. It can travel a distance of almost 50,000 miles. That's 50,000 miles in a single year. They do this while making a round trip between their Arctic breeding grounds and the Antarctic, where they spend every winter. Our winter, southern hemisphere,
right,
has summer basically, but it's winter here.
Yeah, there you go.
And since these birds can live for more than 30 years, all this flying can add up to an amazing equivalent of 3 trips to the moon and back.
Now there's some air travel for you.
Yes. I wonder if they get frequent flyer miles.
Yeah, I knew there was a punchline coming. 269-382-4280 if you want to join us here on Nature Watch, or you can text in your question to 80373, and I'm going to push this because today is the last show coming up after the 9 o'clock news.
Yeah, so bring those make those, find those questions, call in and ask Andy all sorts of questions. I always joke with Andy, but he's going into hibernation for the winter after today.
It's the 69th season final.
Yes.
69 years. 1956. I couldn't do the math. I'm still waking up.
Yeah, I'm still waking up. Hasn't had enough caffeine
1956 is when that show started here on WKZO, and we're going to wrap up season 69 and then take all winter to gear up for season 70.
Yes. So long time running radio show.
Yes, indeed.
So
okay, back to you.
Yes. So neat events. You probably heard that in the ad. Waddell's has their pumpkin party today from 10
I've been hearing it
a.m.
all.
to 2 p.m.
Been hearing it all week.
And so neat. Got some neat decorating stations. You get a pumpkin. You can get some for a little fee. Get some little eyes and stuff to decorate your pumpkin. All sorts of activities with that. There's a scarecrow making station. So bring in some a pair of pants and a shirt for the scarecrow, and a little fee. You can get some straw and some other accoutrements for that scarecrow. The pumpkin catapult, actually a trebuchet, is up and functioning again, and so you can.
Oh my!
So you can get some buy a pumpkin and fire a pumpkin off.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm going to hurl a gourd. Bah!
Can I hear splat? Yes, I hear splat already. So fun thing to do. That's always a popular part of the pumpkin event. So come out. It looks like the weather's going to be fairly decent today. Very comfortable. And, and tonight, after you rest a little bit from that, Kalamazoo Nature Center has another partner program with the Astronomical Society, and that starts at 7 p.m. because it's getting dark already. So another observation session at the Nature Center, and the highlight tonight are Saturn and double stars of autumn. Also this weekend, a very busy weekend, so either in between the Pumpkin Fest and going to look at stars tonight, or tomorrow, the Crane Fest is going on over by Battle Creek, actually by Bellevue. The Battle Creek Kiwanis Club is hosting its 30th annual Crane Fest, and it's at the Kiwanis Youth Conservation Area on 15 Mile Road near Bellevue. So just Google Crane Fest, and you'll get some info on that. The site is next door to Michigan Audubon's Bernard W. Baker Sanctuary, and so last year when they did their count of cranes, they counted 1,595 cranes. They count a little later in the season. They're anticipating, because of the numbers, they may see over 1,000 cranes today. It's fun to see because they've got the Big Marsh Lake there, and the cranes tend to land there quite often. Interesting fact about the Bernard W. Baker Sanctuary is North America's first bird sanctuary dedicated to the conservation of sandhill cranes. So something neat to see. And so after Crane Fest, after this weekend, because they've got all sorts of viewing areas for the birds. They got hiking trails, guiding walks. They're going to have some other artists there, maybe some animal encounters, a food truck or two, some kids' activities. I believe that's all free, but I believe they are charging a fee for parking.
Okay.
But fun activity to do. Take your binoculars if you have them so you can see much better. Mm-hmm. But that's going on from 12 p.m. or noon to dusk today and tomorrow. And after this weekend, the Kiwanis opens up their property for public viewing of cranes on Saturdays and Sundays from 4 p.m. to dusk. And that's through November 9th, so another 4 weeks of viewing. The Audubon Baker Sanctuary are doing their crane count 2 weeks from the day, on the 25th, from 4:30 to dusk. And so if you want to help them count, take your binoculars and head out there. This next week, Kalamazoo area Wild Ones have another Pints and Native Plants on Thursday night, 7 p.m. at Brewery Outre. So you can go and have a local brew and talk about native plants with others. So some fun activities to do this week. I had to bring up, I've been actually collecting for the last couple of weeks, between the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development and the DNR had numerous press releases about HPAI, the highly pathogenic avian influenza, or the bird flu, as it's commonly called. Mm-hmm. Still need to be careful with that. They are seeing some of the wild birds. So any of your animals that you have outside, take some precautions with that. They did detect another flock in Ottawa County. That was just this last week that they announced. A couple of weeks ago, they actually had detected a flock in Allegan County. So the flu is still around. One of the things that the DNR actually put out was if you are a waterfowl hunter, protect yourself and domestic animals from bird flu. So make sure that you sanitize. Really simple safety precautions. You can actually find those on the DNR website. And basically, cook all your meat to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer. Mm-hmm. Process all the birds in the field, and then make sure that the remains are buried on site or double bagged and disposed in trash. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose when handling wild birds. Sort of not a common sense thing.
Right.
Rubber gloves or disposable gloves while cleaning and handling birds, and using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer or cleanser is good too. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of common sense things, but take some precautions, protect you and animals in that. So some neat info from the DNR and MDARD.
Yeah.
Talking about waterfowl and hunters and that, the DNR and Eagle, through their invasive species network, actually put a little press release out about usually they have the mantra clean, drain, and dry. That's regarding your boats as far as moving boats from one body of water to another. Mm-hmm. And again, because they're trying to protect the spread of invasive species from those bodies of water. And we have numerous of those here in Michigan. We've got hydrilla, manna grass, rough manna grass, which is Glyceria maxima. We've got frogbit. We've got invasive Phragmites. So there's numerous invasive species. Those are the primary ones that they're concerned about in spreading, and we have found some areas in Michigan they're really trying to control those areas or quarantine those. So take some precautions. Make sure your boat is clean, drained, and dry before you put it into another body of water.
There you go, or even storage for that matter.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of boats being towed around, and I know it's not for vacation purposes; it's for storage purposes.
Yes. Talking about people, getting ready. Gosh, we're going to put the boat away, but it's been really warm.
Right.
I had to laugh last weekend. I saw a pickup truck that had its snowplow blade on. I think they're being very optimistic.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of like closing a pool at Labor Day when it's still 95 out.
Yes. Yeah. For another month. For almost another month. Yes. So the DNR actually also reported in Genesee County up near Flint the first chronic wasting disease positive deer there. And so that's something, deer season starting. Make sure you take precautions of that. We do have chronic wasting disease in southwest Michigan. Mm-hmm. And make sure that you take those precautions and protect yourself and your critters and your family.
Yeah.
And because it's been warm, we've had mosquitoes out. We've got ticks out. We still have some of those mosquito-borne diseases possible. So, take some precautions. It's not fun being out hunting, being a hunter in the past and sweating when you're out there.
Right. Coming up on Over the Garden Fence, is it okay to mow your leaves into your lawn? That was a question that was brought up earlier on the morning show this week,
yes.
And it was actually in the news. So, and Ken Lanfear, put it out there. As
far as the native stuff, in your beds and that, you want to leave those leaves as long as you can until it's been above 45 for at least a week in the spring, so those little beneficial insects can hatch out and other critters can hatch out and get moving in the spring.
Well, I'm going to hit Andy with that question probably right
before he hibernates.
Out the gate.
So I'm not sure how sleepy he's getting. He may be a little sleepy if he stayed up and watched the Tigers.
Are you going to keep rubbing it in?
Yeah. I did. I'm actually tired with the tired side this morning. So.
Well, I discovered the reason. I had my ringer turned off. I don't know why I did that, but it happened. But I made it in. We're fine. Steve gave me a call as I was on my way here. I said, I know. I'm late.
So if you get a chance, it's supposed to be some very seasonable weather. Get outside and enjoy the outdoors.
Yes. Thank you, Gary. And thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday at 8:30 for Nature Watch, brought to you by Waddell's Nursery, Floral, Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. CBS and local news is up next, and then the finale of the 69th season of Over the Garden Fence with Andy Waddell up next on 590 and 106.9 FM WKZO.